part 2 of the funny show. Glenn says, come on, let's go. Let's go. As you can see, Glenn's ready for part 2. While he's doing that, we'll spruik a few things. Matt, special offers with One to Follow via One to Follow this week. RSP has got Hong Kong thrown in it, so that's the last week of the race speed profiles for 3 weeks. It's the mid-year break. So you can get both Sydney and Melbourne for $89, plus the last Sunday of Hong Kong thrown in as well too.
That's a good result, and our man has once again just been...
What about this out here? Have you seen this out here?
What's that?
They've got a 6x6 foot petting zoo.
Oh yeah.
Look at this, they've got like a llama.
They do.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is that?
We'll take that, yeah. Well, that's similar to the smoking area out the back now. There's that size area out the back where you can have a smoke.
Have you got Star Clutch?
Yeah, we have. We're doing it. So,
they've got a kid zoo.
This is a special school holiday edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
Oh, there's a llama! Look, his head's up the top. I thought it was.
And also, too, we've got a few packages to wind out this part of the year. Warren Huntley isn't on, but we've been packaging up Warren. Warren's, he's been poached by Racing.com for this weekend. So,
what are you talking about?
Well, Warren's not doing Manning Up Mail this Saturday, so we normally been packaging up your stuff with Warren's.
Oh,
so we'll package your stuff up with Darren Potter's as a special.
Apparently,
$69 for the two.
He's not exclusive with us.
No, we just worked out something with it. That's all right. That's cool. So Warren's not on, but yeah. Anyway, it's all right. Don't worry about it, Glenn.
I'm not worried about anything, Dallas.
No. Now, Matt, what's happening with these Betfair changes and everything like that? You've found something out earlier in the week, and I've had quite a few calls from quite a few people who now don't bet on Sydney.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, Betfair they called some of their customers and sent an email around yesterday or the day before, and basically they need to increase the commission takeout of your winning bets in Sydney, and a couple of other states went up. And a couple others.
They're 8%, is that right?
It's up to 8%. I think it was 6 or 5.
Well, that's if you're at the high end, like you're a small player.
Small
turnover.
Yeah.
Just
a
small,
generic.
If you're just like your average punter.
All right, what's it going to mean for you?
Well, for me, it's gone up about. So they've gone from 6 to 8. Doesn't matter what I'm on, but mine gone up.
Yours gone up.
Yeah, but I'm not so concerned about mine going up. I'm concerned about. Is it going to be so hard for people to play that we lose volume?
It's removing players, exactly right.
Will.
That's right.
But I can't work out, like, it's a losing venture for them, betting on New South Wales Racing. Why don't they just fucking pull the pin?
Well, is that where they're getting towards? Or is that yeah?
I mean, they're trying to dance around it, but honestly, since they lost the court case, they must have lost it.
Well, they lost the unlosable court case.
Yeah.
How they got Dennis Denuto's solicitors on the banana. I know the vibe of it didn't work. But how they ever...
It was definitely...
How that packer, if he stopped sucking those big titties overseas of that Mariah Carey and organised getting back here to fight the case that they are not a bookmaker and they shouldn't be having
I thought with him coming on board, that's what we would have seen.
Yeah, but he's interested in poker machines.
He
loves big squashy things. He's a fucking odd character. You'd have to agree.
I could handle. Oh, well, I mean,
he loves a dopey-looking model.
And he loves
fair income. He's got $1 billion. I wouldn't bang Mariah Carey for $1 billion.
No. What about if she sang Hero to you?
But he does seem an odd man, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe the Betfair arm is just like such a millimetre percentage.
Yeah, well, it is. Well, it only cost him about $5 million to buy into it, didn't it?
I don't know.
We would have scraped that.
You would have
just had to get sued for being a slut or something.
I mean, the head of Betfair in that thing, Jeremy, and he does a terrific job, and he's a good style bloke, and blah blah blah. And he was embarrassed and coy to say, "Look, this is what's happening." And you understand that if you can't make money at a certain percentage, that you've got to increase your cost. But I'm worried that trying to get the waves bigger, they're going to lose the water.
Well, I was under some misapprehension that Victoria went to the turnover model as well. They had that.
No, they're on profit model for Betfair.
Right, so
they stay. The general person stays at 6% for Victoria.
Right, okay.
So this is another great moment in New South Wales versus Victoria Racing Administration.
Well, our boss has no idea of wagering.
No, but can you imagine, Dal? Everyone in Racing New South Wales go, yay.
Yeah, we get with it's called.
Betfair's
on the way out. Yeah, that's right. Betfair's on the way out. The tab will be there. That's right, exactly. Well, it's interesting. The new site is coming in the next week or two, which will be awesome.
The new site for Betfair, or
no, the new site for us.
The
Punters Show new site,
right.
which Mark has done.
Is it photos of me, Dal?
There's going to be a feature interview we've got to do. Mark's already done his. Aaron and I had a really good chat with Stewie Davidson yesterday, and there's some very interesting things. Some very interesting things that Stewie says about.
Did you?
Sorry,
you drilled him.
Oh well, Stewie volunteers. You know, you don't have to. You don't have to ask Stewie too much, but there's some very, very frightening things from a very passionate
you'd be a drug
person.
dealer with Stewie, wouldn't you? And he's one, and they pinch Stewie, and you go, right, now what happened? You go, nothing. We heard it was 6 kilos. You go, oh, ice, yeah, I know. Pollen got it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a friendly bloke. He'd give you up with that. Nothing. He's just too nice a fella.
Anyway, so you were saying Stewie's struggling now.
Oh well, look, he says some very interesting things, and it'll be part of many features that are on the new site.
If you want to get some of Stewie's best features on the pump, just bump into him in the street. Could you tell you?
Just say good day.
Exactly. That's with me. I say go to part 2.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. But anyway, back to that. You were talking about the administrators, and would they'll be saying yes?
Oh,
I think they've won.
You know, that's the ultimate tragedy, isn't it?
We've got some serious problems. Anyway, Dave has said.
But we've been saying this for 7 years now.
I know, exactly. But we don't care. Like, I mean, one thing that we're sitting with Stewie there realise is that we care more than they do. We're more passionate than they do,
Because
and we want
a job for them.
We want it to work.
No one cares.
No one cares more than we do. That's the thing. But we're seen as pricks and
5.5 years of caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, what have we accomplished? We've got the
I'll
computer
tell you
board.
what we've accomplished. We've been ostracised even more and more. More and more people don't like us, and more people
Well,
do.
you know you're doing a good job if you.
Unfortunately, we're just a small little punter
Who
show.
doesn't like us, Dal?
I'm sure there's plenty of people. Has John O'Shea come up and shook your hand recently?
Got a lot of Rick, don't you?
Anyway, okay. Well, I'll go to the point about Rick.
Firstly, a lot of money doesn't change who you are. He still walks around the frown in the same suits.
Melbourne punter Lee Dolan just said #Rick at Punter Show, which was John O'Shea reflecting on his first year at Godolphin, which you actually ruined my Friday night a bit, Mark, because I'd finished everything and I thought I'm going to torture myself, and I'm going to watch.
I haven't watched it.
It's not a video; it's just an article.
Oh.
Yeah, I was really going to Rick up. I was going to really.
Yeah.
So a journalist has asked him some questions.
Oh, it's just a story. It's really nothing to it. So for vomiting on the Friday show, I apologise. It's not as bad. It was just like we've had a good year. We've had X amount of 2-year-olds win. James McDonald hopefully comes back, wins the thing, and winning the BMW was great. So it was really nothing to it. Anyway. So,
that's a funny.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I was sort of getting
Is that the end of
excited.
the emails, or do we?
No. Dave said, got a query I hope you can help me with. I had no luck finding the answer, and you're my last hope. Do jockeys have registered riding weights? If so, are they available to the public? My query stems from a couple of winners I've backed in the last couple of months. Stephen Arnold had a rider 55, whatever it is. Mark, where do you find riding weights?
I don't know where you find them, but I know they have registered riding weights, and you have to apply to lower your weight.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so they say, oh, okay, well you can lower your registered
Are they
weight.
still at the front of the race book?
Well, they are the apprentices.
I think they are, yeah. I reckon if you went...
Yeah,
But what are you talking about, Dallas? No one gets a race book.
No, exactly right.
Who gets a race book?
Speaking of
No,
riding,
I mean, they print only 100 and they get left with 90.
Yeah.
speaking of riding weights, when we had Pat Murphy on, we said, "Where's Sam Clinton?" She came back just last week. You would have seen the meeting she was at.
Sure did.
Sure did.
59.
There she was, down the outside.
At Newcastle.
Yeah.
In the last.
Captain.
Captain Scott.
She's riding about 58 kilos. It was into her about her weight. It's like the poor girl. The guy's like, "You're struggling with your weight, aren't you, love?"
Yeah.
Like, Harley?
Oh,
It's like, she's like,
Harley was saying that. Jesus.
she rode 61 kilos and she rode one. I just found it ironic that I think it was Harley who was interviewing
Yes,
her,
yeah.
saying
Yeah.
really struggling. Or maybe it was Cleese.
Is there any other industry where you get, like, you can talk to a girl about a weight
Yeah, that's right.
and that she's
Apparently not.
she's even money to die within 5 years?
Apparently not if you're working at Lorna Jane.
Oh, really?
Did you see that? Yeah, well, Lorna Jane's been all about positive body image and blah blah blah, and then they put out a job for a receptionist saying that you needed to be fucking a size 8, waist of 65 centimetres, tits this size. Like,
Really?
well, you know what shocked me, and it shouldn't. Current Affair did their big expose onto it, which what a great show that is. They said the average size of a female Australian is 16.
Yeah.
That's the average
Average?
size.
No.
16.
Yeah.
Fair.
Can't be 16. That's a big.
Well, that's what they said. You're saying yes?
No way.
You're saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you fat chicks just stay indoors? Like,
I must be those fat chicks out west.
at least they
girls.
must stay under the dirt or eating twisties or something. That's where they are. They haven't come out the boat. Unless I'm not looking to stay indoors.
If you're fat in the northern beaches, you get kicked out. That's why you don't see any.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
You got to be good looking.
Oh, well.
Only for girls.
Alright, moving right along.
Anyway, for Dave, I reckon just try to contact the stewards direct. Ring Racing New South Wales, ask to be put through to the stewards, and they can let you know, because that would be their domain.
Alex McKinnon thing?
No, I missed it. Was it pretty good? Alex McKinnon.
Oh, just because we talked to.
Give it to Cam Smith a bit. I heard.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that was a bit of a bit strange, actually, because Cam Smith wasn't given the right to reply to it, and Cam Smith's blowing up about it on the paddock. I think it
looked awful at the time.
It's a bit of a stitch up, but I mean, like, Cam Smith didn't know that the bloke's broken his neck either.
If he's a dickhead.
Cam Smith.
How did we get on talking about?
All right, Ralph retweeted something about the double strapper theory with Lord of the Sky. That horse has been mentioned.
The double strapper.
The double strapper theory.
Don't like the double.
Theory behind that, Glenn?
That's the end of part 2.
No, you can talk about the theory about that.
No, I can't. I'm not gonna.
No, well, you can.
I just don't. It means
Well,
well,
yeah.
He doesn't like it, and I
I like a horse to be just.
Yeah.
walk-
Yeah.
But if
But-
a horse needs 2 strappers,
It
What's a bit
doesn't
too
mean
easy.
it can't win. I just
Yeah.
don't think it's going to go as fast.
But a lot of the time, the two handlers doesn't allow us to see a couple of things that we want to see as well too.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It's sort of like a
There.
restraint.
they're guarding. They're
There it is.
obscuring the horse.
That's the end of part.
Tweet of the week, Matt. And now, did you see this that Matt tweeted out as the tweet of the week? It was a youthful Mark Sheen twiddling the knobs with Startling Lass winning the Silver Slipper and Tappy calling. And it was the wide world of sports vision of it with Tangles throwing out to Tappy.
Wow. So was Mark Sheen doing the Ken?
He was doing the Kenny Calendar. He was twiddling the knobs. Yeah. And he even nominated something that was 50s into 30s. He said good backing and it's a good chance. A Splashdown to run second or something, the Startling Lass. Tappy went. What about the cross to Tappy? Tappy wasn't happy. What about that?
I'll show it to you in a sec.
But what was unhappy?
Because Channel 9 must have finished a story and the racers were about to jump. And Tappy's about to call the race and he's like, you can Max, throw it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you cross much later, we'll be in trouble. Down the mark, you'll have to be quick.
And that's the good ones, Mark.
Yeah, exactly right. So they got out backed up to Tappy, and anyway, so Gavin Duffy has proceeded to ride Startling Lass out to the line, like it's 2-3 lengths clear, and it's just Gavin Duffy, bang, bang, bang. Like
That's sensational.
And
Even saying Gavin Duffy.
in the denim with the denim crossover noseband on, and the orange colours with the lime and
He'd be
black
up there
sleeves.
somewhere tonight in the maroon jersey.
Yeah,
He's a car washer by day, you know.
Is he? Well, and then Tappy after the race has said this. Could you imagine this being said today? Duffy didn't miss her with the persuader there, and nor should they. And like,
That's a great place.
Big alone at the RSPCA.
yeah, it's just unbelievable. Now, did anyone see Tatush? Mark Crookie has alerted this to us.
Yeah, I watched it.
Jason followed in with Mark after Mark said, what was he doing the last 100 there? Have you got beat toys out of the cot? Jason said, geez, what are you thinking? My good form guide went flying. A King tweeted, my form guide also went flying. Shame my form is on a laptop. Went through the window for fuck's sake.
That was a very hot little 2-year-old race.
That was a hot little 2-year-old race. He gave away a good start, then he sort of made a great little run, and then he sort of like, what are they saying, sat up the last bit?
He thought he was home and just very quiet on it, wasn't he? I suppose.
A tricky ride in the back, G Lynch. He's a tricky individual for sure. There's a couple of blokes in that like brigade in the Bushman. M. Travers, they're
hard to catch. That's all. Patrick Murphy, who was he was our man. There was a lot of love for Patrick from the show.
There was. Well, he's
good boys like Dan Gannon tweeted.
Did he watch the show, Dan?
Yeah, he watched the show. He said we should have got him on the phone instead.
G'day, Dan.
Yeah. Who was Mitchell Bell, Zach Burton? They chimed in. There was another. Garn, I think, and there was another one jumped in.
In my life, I've only ever seen 3 good riders: Daniel Gandon,
Benny Fasalo was the other one.
Jamie Quinnell, and Patrick Murphy.
And Ben Fasalo.
Hey, he's an apprentice, so didn't he?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Quinnell, what a good rider. He was a good rider.
Anyway, to wrap up, Team Queen's gone to the effort of writing us a big email about this ridiculous thing of the many different types of semi-serious and serious punters. Probably the 2 most common of the followers of Sydney and Melbourne thoroughbred racing, and the followers of thoroughbred racing in Sydney and surrounds, or Melbourne and surrounds. Fewer still would be those that bet in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Adelaide, and fewer still that bet everywhere. Yet the biggest cancer on racing, the duopoly of Tab Sky, are trying to push all punters into being mugs, and it's frustrating the crap out of me. I used to think that they were clueless when it came to the scheduling of races. Now I'm sure they're not, as it can be seen from Saturday's programming. So which was frustrating, having those Melbourne races close to whatever. How we go?
No, I want to show you. Keep right.
Yeah, okay. So back to those two main types of punters for the Sydney and Melbourne punters. Those two meetings are now not in opposite time slots, which used to mean they were 15-20 minutes apart. The furthest apart meetings could get.
Sorry, keep going.
Allowing the majority of these punters to look at form, mounting yard and flux in the 15 or 20 minutes break between races. For the other major type of punter, those focused on Sydney Provincial or Melbourne Provincial used to have ample time to do the same as the Sydney Melbourne punters, as the scheduling the provincial races in these two states was on hot on the heels of the other major states. Basically, she's raising the point about how useless that was, and shame on everybody involved, especially John Mazzara, Peter Volandis, and the Tab Sky. And it is.
They're basically going, well, fuck you.
It's just.
Is that what they do?
Well, it just seems that we're in a petty war between Sydney and Melbourne at the moment. You know, who can ask fuck whom?
Or even a war against each other. Like Grafton, they shouldn't really build it up and not have Canterbury on.
Well, I've been saying for years.
What Grafton standalone tomorrow?
That's Thursday.
And they used to do that.
Yeah, why?
But what about a standalone Wednesday for it? You know, like this is the lowest meeting of the year.
They want the Thursday.
Yeah,
they don't want the Wednesday, they want the Thursday.
But have Wednesday, Thursday, make it a feature. Do it back again. This is, half the bookmakers won't be here, half the punters won't be here. This is the lowest meeting of the year.
Dal, you've got to return the money to the trainers.
Yes, I know. We'll
right,
get the trainers
to run these meetings so that the trainers
put this prize money home to Grafton.
Get the money.
Get Grafton back going. Anyway, Glenn?
Yeah.
That's the end of the punters.
Okay, that's the end of the punters.
Part 3 of the Punters Show. Week ahead, as we mentioned, Grafton Cup tomorrow. Randwick Saturday, Flemington Saturday, which is the grand final series of the Winter Series. Great racing there normally. Darren Potter's staff and Race Speed Profiles, which flew on Saturday to go up with a huge bang. Doomben for John McLeod, and Hong Kong, last Hong Kong meeting of the season. So that's probably about 2 months off.
And we've got another heavy Randwick. It's like
it's
like Kembla it wasn't good, but it was.
You saw that tweet by Racing New South Wales yesterday that Kensington won't be used for the next 12 months.
What?
I knew that. Already knew that.
And then announced no Kensington for at least 12 months. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing is that we've got this weird situation where Newcastle and Kembla were dead fall. Well, good. That's it. Yeah. What it's called now. And we're stuck with bogs in Sydney. Same weather.
Yeah, Kembla was good for, wasn't he?
But it's massive at this time of year. You know when those tracks go wet dry?
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
And
it's got to be do with watering. But it's all can be doing. We would water these tracks more than they would water those tracks.
I suppose they're more coastal. Forget about Randwick because they actually dug the coast up out of Randwick
and put the desert in.
The desert would have been all right.
They put a quaggy.
They put something else in there.
Yeah, they put that English stuff in where they used to bury all those kids.
About 7 years since World Youth Day.
Where'd they bury all those kids? On the moors.
In the moors.
The moors. They put the moors in.
It's 7 years since World Youth Day.
7 years.
Since the moops.
The moors or the moops?
Alright, okay, moving right along.
Cool.
It's 10 years today the London bombings too, did you know?
Yeah.
Seems like
I'm just looking out there. Glenn, how do you reckon the ozone's going? I don't think it's going all that. I think the ozone stopped.
It's hard not to like ISIS. It's fucking hard not to like it.
Horses to follow, anything, or are we worrying?
Oh, well, like...
Allegria being a top class horse when he gets onto a dry track.
Allegria's really
Why is it running now, Rick?
Vanbrugh is a course to follow.
Yeah,
it's got a stack of improvement, dry track, possibly third up for it. Might be tomorrow. What do you got, mate?
I'm struggling.
There was one thing I also thought third up too.
We've got some slaughters. Winona.
Duccio. What does Duccio look like?
Duccio looked like Gabe been away for 7 weeks.
There was one that I thought third.
Saw a nice horse at Kembla win the second last race. Greg Colivas' brother owns it.
Oh yeah.
Francesco. He went like a rocket. And the second horse they raced, the Expensive Yearling by Hawks, he said, it's the worst walker I've ever seen in a race course. It walks like this, Dal. So it goes like that, and at the back it goes.
Oh, that shit, yeah. There was that.
And I've got to tell you about that. I've got to tell you about the Mad Gate. We've had some talk before about strappers on this show.
Yeah.
Those Indian strappers.
Yeah.
That I've given you the heads up, even though they're black, they're really happy and hard-working blokes. I asked the strapper of the Hawk's horse with the funny gate.
Yeah.
I said, mate, does it always walk like that? He said, yeah, it always walks like that every morning, but then when it gets to a gallop, it really lengthens out until he just couldn't help me enough.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up to all little black Indian strappers.
Yeah, now because you mentioned that he's from the Hawk stable, he's now been sacked. Because he talked to you.
Great. Awesome.
There's a job for you on the punter show.
Can you shine shoes or something? Oh, what do people do?
What was that?
Shine shoes. Do a little dance.
Come on, gotta go.
Right, we can finish. Slaughter.
It's slaughter.
It's time for Slaughter of the Quarter.
Brought to you by lovely Lil, who I'm seeing at the Rodeo on Saturday night. If we lose Cody and just you and me at the bar.
Sweet.
She's
I think Hubert has to get some points, doesn't he, for Allegra? Hubert's just not with us.
Doesn't Hubert lose interest?
Yeah, Hubert just have a month off.
I've worked out the key to Hubert.
Yeah.
He loses interest when he goes past me and he goes, "Oh, g'day Glenn, how you going? Everything all right?" I go, "Yeah, I'm all right, Hubert."
Yeah,
and then when he looks at me and just completely blankly stares, he just rides when I'm
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
goes in different lanes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
So at the moment I've got nice sociable Hubert.
Yeah, and
who I don't back, and then when I get brushed Hubert,
we're
back.
Yeah, lovely. Anyone
But
else?
I can't get that mail out.
Oh, Winona coming off the fence on 2 blue.
That's the obvious.
That's the
There it was.
She's cost herself the race. There's 3. There's 2. Who's won?
Jason Collette on 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
It's like
the whole world.
It was a $10 moral.
Yeah.
What about
God? Because everything. There was about 5 things that happened with 50 Shades of Grey that it should have won.
Kembla, the stayer in the last race that flashed home tie.
Oh, that was terrifying to watch.
Pearl of Wisdom.
To think the whole winner that won. That's unbelievable.
I marked it 15 to 1.
Did you really?
Yeah, 9 Dennis. It was the only thing I found all day.
Well, I got
Golden Switch.
I got matched.
Golden Switch.
I got matched on the fair at 85.
85.
Good ride.
$25.
Quick Pearl.
Yeah, quick Pearl.
So when there's a much anticipated bias, so we go to Warwick Farm, True Rail, down the outside,
Yep.
play the other way. When it's much anticipated, when everyone's sort of onto it.
So when the market's left, go right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the market. So in other words, the market's overcompensated.
Well, we saw it last week. Last week at Warwick
Yeah.
Farm, they got up the inside because everyone knew that they had to be left.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, they're always surprised at Randwick. I don't know why it is. It's because it's Saturdays and everyone's.
And everybody thinks Randwick's such a fair.
But at Warwick Farm, it's like, it's just going to be like down the outside.
Beautiful.
Up the inside you go.
All right,
This
I'm
is
going to
the show.
go. See you later, mate.
All right.
Friday, Randwick.
Talk to you later, mate.
And you're going to wrap up?
I was going to wrap up. I was thinking. I'm not happy about these homosexuals marrying. I just think he wouldn't like me saying that.
No, I think we're going to look back in 10 years and
that,
just be unbelievably shocked that we've had the debate.
That it happened?
No, that we've actually debating over whether it's an issue or not.
My question is, if homosexuals are allowed to like all of us and be married, are they then allowed, just because they stick it in a different hole, are they then allowed to be called heterosexuals? I mean, where does this all end?
Yeah, but what?
Tell us, I'm not happy about it. I'll tell you.
Well, what's the divorce rate for
30%,
heterosexuals?
30%.
So it's not like it's going that well.
Well, 30% stay.
Yeah, but it's hard to let them get married.
That's what I said to a couple.
Well, you're the other way.
Of course.
He's of course the other way. I'm pro gay marriage. If they want to go for their life,
You mustn't have a root for 2 weeks before you can get an erection. Gee, you're a soft cock, mate. We're going to really like you right up. Anyway, that's the end of the Punter Show.
That's it.